Good morning and welcome to Frontiers of Knowledge segment of Dr. Lamba's Awakening Call. We human beings, whenever we want to abuse somebody, we say you're an animal, forgetting that animals are superior to the human beings. Don't believe me? Well, just imagine when human beings face an adverse period, lockdowns, curfews, inability to go out of the house, what do? Their only recreation seems to be reproduction. And animals, it has been seen that when there is a question of survival, they reduce reproduction. Two reasons. A, they tide over the food scarcity. B, they conserve their species. And this research has been done by the University of Montana. They have seen that the tropical songbirds stop reproduction during severe drought periods, and that reduction increases their survival rates. It is extremely surprising that not only did the reduction in breeding activity mitigate costs of survival, but many long-lived species experienced higher survival rates during the drought period, which is a major issue for the birds. In contrast, the human beings that kept breeding during the adverse times face strong reduction in survival, and that's exactly what has happened. More children, less resources to eat, and consequently bad health, and then the cycle starts. The scientists Martin and Morton have studied 38 bird species in Venezuela and Malaysia, and this study has been done for over 8 years. There were drought years in each field site, and the modeled future population results for the birds using the three different climate change scenarios was seen. And it was observed that the drought reduced reproduction on an average of 36%, 36% in Malaysian species and 52% in Venezuelan species. So, the population impact of the drought were largely nullified by the reproduction behavior of the other species. But the songbirds have this speciality. Maybe they can learn, the human beings can learn something from these songbirds. That reproduction is not the only way out of the adverse times. But then the other option that the people are indulging in domestic violence is equally bad. Anyway, since today our topic is only the frontiers of knowledge, we will not go into the second aspect. This study shows very clearly that conserving species is much more important than just reproduction. And then plasma, which is of extreme need everywhere and it's very expensive. But now the University of Notre Dame has come up with a economical solution. Professor David Go, an aerospace and mechanical engineer at Notre Dame University, says that low temperature plasma devices have been evolved which are human power or machine power, and this low temperature plasma would lead to more efficient engines, and they can be used in field medicine and other activities. There is a diverse application in medicine, water purification, agriculture, pollutant removal, nanomaterial synthesis, and much more. And making these plasmas by conventional method takes thousands of volts of electricity, and their limit to use outside high voltage power setting is very limited. So the US National Science Foundation funded this research at Notre Dame University. And they have come up with the plasma devices that can be operated without electrical power. They only need human or mechanical energy. And this is called energy conversion plasma. It's an alternative to producing transient sparks and discourage the need of high voltage power supply. So there are two benefits. One, the consumption of electricity is reduced, and the consumption of electricity means less CO2 emissions, carbon emissions. Secondly, it's much cheaper. And the researchers have designed, fabricated, and tested a hand cracked piezoelectric device to generate the plasma. So, no mechanical even, there is a hand generated crank. The device includes a snail shell shaped actuator that compresses a conventional gas grill igniter made from piezoelectric crystal to form the plasma. The crystal is compressed, is polarized, and generates a surface voltage high enough to initiate the process. The snail shell allows the igniter to reset quickly to one plasma discharge, and that one discharge can be generated with each revolution, no matter how fast a person cranks the device. So, this manually created energy conversion plasma is much more useful when integrated into devices that have rotating parts or naturally produce vibrations. Cars have internal combustion engines and they with oscillating pistons. So there if this plasma is used, it will save energy, it will save gas, it will make the engines more efficient, more noiseless, rather it will be absolutely noiseless, and the long life. The energy conversion plasmas could make, as I said, convention engines in cars, aeroplanes, cruises, as I said, fuel efficient, economical. So both the pollution control of carbon as well as noise will be abated. This is really a path-breaking invention, and University of Notre Dame deserves all congratulations for this. And then, the biggest problem the seniors face, according to the Stats Canada, is a false. 80% of the people in long term facilities, in assisted facilities, and hospitals are those people who fall. Losing your balance and falling doesn't happen only during icy winter, it can happen even in the summers. So, the scientists have come up with dynamic kirigami shoe grip. Now, kirigami is a Japanese art of cutting paper. So, this kirigami shoe grip is designed to reduce the risk of slips and falls. The slip resistance of your shoes can determine how well you walk on different surfaces without losing balance. Shoe grips increase friction by engaging with a walking surface and increase stability. And when the stability is there, you are not likely to fall. And this apparently not very exciting, but extremely useful invention is a result of a combined effort of investigators belonging to Harvard University, Birmingham and Women's Hospital, and MIT. They have developed a bio-inspired assistive chew grip based on kirigami. Now, kirigami, as I said earlier, is the Japanese art of paper cutting. Kirigami can be used to create highly flexible surfaces that buckle from a flat sheet to a three-dimensional textured surface. And this new kirigami-based shoe sole is intended and capable of reducing the risk of slips, as I said, it reduces the risk of slips and falls. How it does is that it adjusts the balance of a person while the person is taking one step off the other, increasing the friction with pop-up spikes as necessary. So the needs are there, more spikes come in out of the sole. They are inserted in the sole, they come out, and the balance is maintained and the person doesn't fall. The report shows that a range of services was studied and it covered ice, rocky surface, sand, even glass surface, and was found that the Kirigami shoe soles increased friction with the ground to get a better grip on slippery surfaces. It also shows another thing that Kirigami shoes grips and how the frictional properties between the soles and the walking surface. According to the scientists, the use could achieve 3 to 4 times increase in friction than the friction is in the standard winter boots. So if it's 4 times more, the chances of falling are reduced by about 75% pari passu. And that is really something which is going to be a boon to the people who lose their balance and who fall down. And you remember, I've been talking about the loss of biodiversity a lot. And here comes a very interesting and very enlightening report. The scientists have discovered 163 new species of animals, birds, etc. And they have been discovered in the Great Mekong Delta. Great Mekong is in Vietnam, and it was once a place where bloody battles were fought between the Americans and the Vietnamese. And now they have discovered 163 new species in that delta. There's a snake with a rainbow head. The snake's head is like a rainbow. And it resembles, if you have seen that Stardust character, David Bowie's Ziggy Stardust character, a shimmering rainbow head. There is a dragon like a lizard. There's a newt that looks like Star Trek's Clinton. So these 163 new species have been discovered by the scientists. And according to them, since 1997, these scientists in this area, Mekong Delta area, have discovered 2,409 new species. And they include 9 amphibians, the animals who can live both on the land and the water, 11 types of fishes, 14 reptiles, 126 new plants, and 3 mammals, and all of them are found in Cambodia, Laos, Myanmar, Thailand, and Vietnam. And these new discoveries in animals, plants, birds, mammals, reptiles, fish, amphibians is a real achievement, and that is at 2,409 new species. So the biodiversity which is being badly and adversely affected in places like Canada is being compensated in Asia. I shouldn't forget to mention that the Great Minot Delta is home to the world's most endangered wild species, including tiger, sola, Asian elephant, dolphin, and giant catfish. And it's under developmental pressure that is likely to affect adversely the biodiversity. And it has been seen that many species are lost even before they are discovered because people in that area are extremely poor, they are hungry. So the moment they find something new, they catch it up and eat it. So the governments and the World Wildlife Fund need to pay special attention because this is a place where the biodiversity balance can be helped to be maintained. So these new nuggets of information widen our horizon of knowledge, understanding, and help to the human beings living a better, richer, and fuller life. Thank you.